So I got home this evening and went back and watched the Nintendo Direct, and overall I was incredibly excited by what I saw. There were a few things that I was expecting to see there that I'm a bit disappointed in one respect that they weren't present, but on the other hand, it's all stuff that wouldn't be till like a 2019, 2020, and there are things that I think we'll see more in the January Direct, because there's so much here. They really didn't linger on any individual game. They really needed the whole over a half hour to uncover everything that even there are some more games that I wanted to see details about or something revealed that I'm pretty sure is going to be coming out 2019, 2020. I understand why they weren't there because there's just so much to uncover. Even just with the 3DS, I know some people were probably hoping to let's fast forward through it, everything Switch, but the 3DS is still alive and kicking and doing well, and they are continuing to support it, and there are a couple of pretty interesting games coming to that, so they didn't linger on it. Again, it was just a quick, couple minute thing here, so it showed off a few cool things and then moved on to Switch stuff. A lot of interesting titles like Luigi's Mansion 3, some more updates for Splatoon 2, and the first thing that really caught my eye was the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle. And I'm curious to see, because I didn't see in the Direct whether or not they said anything about it being a physical release, or whether it's just going to be an eShop thing, but I'm thinking and hoping that we're going to see a physical release of this, and there are some pretty cool titles in here. I mean, this could be a really fun arcade, a time with your friends, and I think this is one that could do well because there are enough titles in here, some really popular stuff, some stuff that's a little more obscure, but things that create enough content, enough as far as like hours of entertainment and enough variety in the types of beat 'em up games that I think this could really sell well and appeal to a lot of people. And sticking with that thread of more retro things, they are also releasing two NES-style wireless controllers. They can actually click into the sides of the Switch and charge that way, and to be used for all of the digital NES games coming to the Switch when they roll out their mess of an online service. And that's pretty interesting. If there's ever any kind of a physical collection of some of those games, which I don't think will happen, I think it's just going to remain eShop type thing, but if there was some sort of physical collection of certain types of games, I would be interested in those new controllers / Joy-Cons. I would be interested in those controllers just because they look pretty cool. It looks like an interesting retro take, but overall, I mean, I already have those things actually with the NES, so I wouldn't be too interested, but they're really cool. And there were a lot of little things here. They went very, very quickly with each game, and a lot of things coming very, very quickly over the next couple of months. Some things we already knew about, like Civilization 6, some things that we didn't know about, a lot of games that I was not expecting to see get this remaster treatment. We're seeing a whole lot of games, especially now starting with a lot of Gen 6 stuff, GameCube, PS2, and we are seeing Katamari Damacy re-roll, the original Katamari, on PlayStation 2 Katamari Damacy coming out, and a bunch of oddball ones that I was not expecting. So that's kind of interesting to see what's coming, and I'm very curious to see what comes out in 2019, 2020, maybe like up to 2021. If these do well, I think we could see some very unexpected things, not just the typical go-to multi-million bestsellers that are ported to almost every system as it comes out here. I think there could be a few interesting titles that you wouldn't expect coming out if these types of games start selling well, and those could be pretty interesting to have depending on what they do to them on something like the Switch and on the go. So I'm really happy to see little things like that crop up here. And with those unexpected things, you also have some expected things. The new Super Mario Bros. Deluxe and the Luigi one, all from the Wii U, and they're finally getting down there with not having too many likely Wii U ports left. I think there are a handful of games that are still exclusive to the Wii U that'll probably stay exclusive, and then the list of ones that are likely to be ported is just very, very small now. So that was one of the ones that was kind of a given, I think, in many ways. And we got a closer look at Diablo 3, releasing in November, and that looks pretty interesting. I'm a big fan of the original Diablo. I played that on my Mac back in the day. Still have my big box version there. But with the couch co-op, I think my wife and I are going to get it, so I think Amanda and I can play that together, and that'll be a lot of fun. So I think Amanda and I will really like that, and kind of reminds me of back in the day playing the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance with friends on PS2 a whole lot. And of course we got other expected things like the Pokemon and the bundle there, and then the Smash Brothers bundle, which everyone knew they were going to show, and one that I was, Amanda and I were talking before she went to work earlier in the day and I went to work. We really think that Animal Crossing is going to be shown, and then it's going to come out probably next summer, and then right there at the very end, Animal Crossing is finally coming, and it says 2019, and I'm guessing that it's going to be right around next E3. It could be a little bit sooner, but I'm thinking it's going to be something that has a really big showing around E3 time and on the floor. People get their hands on it, and then it comes out, say, end of June, July, that type of thing. I don't think we'll have to wait the whole way till the next holiday season. I think it's going to come out much sooner than that. I'm actually going to be throwing out a prediction here that I think one of the things I was expecting to see, that I think we'll see in a January Direct, I think we'll see a Metroid Prime trilogy coming up here, and then the Metroid Prime 4 be for the next holiday season, so like Christmas 2019. I think that's going to happen there. And we got, of course, a look at Yoshi's Crafted World and things like that. So a lot of things that, little things that had leaked and things that I expected. Well, not a ton of surprises aside from lots of little games. Like I said, the oddball things I wouldn't expect to come out, and gives me a lot of hope for things that are coming out for the Switch in the future. And it's interesting, the more they show it, that Starlink Money Suck game looks like the Switch version of that is going to be kind of the next Star Fox game. It looks like they're adding a ton to it as far as like Star Fox related, to where I think this might be the Star Fox that we get. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there might not be another actual Star Fox. Like, this might be the closest thing. So pretty curious to see what happens there. Definitely not something I would be into, but it looks pretty interesting. One thing that I do want to keep my eye on, though, is the new game from Game Freak, which has a working title so far of Town. They explained a little bit about how the game is going to work, and I like what I've seen so far. It's definitely one, though, I want to see more in detail of exactly the mechanics of just being in that one town, and is there any sort of development feature within that one town, or is it something that's going to feel very limiting in the experience? Who knows how it's going to work out? Is it going to be more of defend the town from waves of monsters type of deal, and you can build up defenses, not as far as like a tower defense thing, but I'm kind of thinking a traditional RPG mixed with a little bit of Animal Crossing and a little bit of the town feature of the original Dark Cloud. That would be kind of interesting. So I want to keep my eye on it. I'm curious about what's happening there. And then I was leaving for last the thing that really has me excited, and I think not just for what they showed, but again for what possibilities are in the future. And I'll say again, I think if a lot of these types of remasters and things of older games sell very well on the Switch, I think we'll get more and more of them, and depending what they are, that could be really, really cool and could open the door for some really interesting experiences. And the one of those that I was hoping to see here was I was really hoping and expecting to see the Grandia 1 and 2 here, and to finally get a reveal of is it actually going to be a physical release or digital only and that type of thing. But there are lots of games like that coming, and Square, holy cow. We found out, of course, over the weekend that Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, the original one from the GameCube, is coming, and that was very unexpected, because if you look at their back catalog, that's not a title that I would have picked as a probable remaster on the Switch, but it's coming, and I think it's going to do very well. I think that the multiplayer feature makes it very fun and accessible, and really goes into this multiplayer experience and being friendly with everyone type thing that seems to be fueling a lot of these positivity with the Switch. I think it's very much an enjoyable share with everyone type system, and I think it's going to work very well. And I said in another video, I really liked that game on the GameCube. I still have it. Didn't like any of the other Crystal Chronicles games that I played at all. But that first one on the GameCube I actually really enjoyed, and it still works fairly well as a single-player experience. It's a lot of fun, but I think it's more fun multiplayer. And then after that, it just kept getting crazier. We saw Chocobo's Dungeon, a remaster of the one that was on the Wii in, I think, 2007, and I think that could be pretty interesting to see how much they really add to it. So that was another one that I would not expect, kind of out of left field. And then the Final Fantasy love. Oh my goodness, I am very, very happy to see these. Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 are going to be coming, and then we're going to get Final Fantasy 7, the original Final Fantasy 7, and 9, and Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age. Holy crap, if these things get a physical release, even if something like 7 and 9, they put it in maybe a fancier case and maybe a special edition, something to get $60 out of us. If they do that, I will buy every one of them, guaranteed 100%. If these get a physical release, I'm getting every one of them. Amazing. This could be fantastic and incredible news. I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, Final Fantasy X. I mean, that would be great. I can't believe that would be amazing on the Switch. That would be so cool. And then you have Final Fantasy 7, 9, and 12. I just picked up over the summer Zodiac Age on the PS4, and that would be amazing. I mean, 7, 9, and 12, all three of those are in my top 10 games of all time. So yeah, of course I'm grabbing them. I mean, Final Fantasy 9. That would. I can't wait. If those things have a nice physical release, I will get them immediately. Final Fantasy 9 I would pre-order. The other ones I would get eventually, but yeah, I would get every single one of them. I can't believe it, and I really hope they do get a physical release guaranteed, and that they sell well, because that could lead to other Square older titles, especially from their golden age on Super Nintendo and original PlayStation, getting ports over here, even if it's like collections. As I said, one of the number one things I would love to see on the Switch would be Parasite Eve 1 and 2 together. That would blow my mind. That would be incredible. But yeah, those things are getting physical editions, and maybe, just maybe, hoping against hope, with the relationship and the popularity of the Xeno series through the Chronicles games on Nintendo systems, and right now being super popular, and with Square being very port happy with older games, could we see a Xenogears port to the Switch? Yeah, I would be pre-ordering 2 copies. I mean, that would that would be remarkable. Could that happen? I actually now, after seeing this, think it's not impossible. Very unlikely still, but it's within the realm of possibility now. And seeing some of these oddball things that are coming out, and some other things that are rumored that are maybe later, January Direct type things to come out, I don't think anything is truly off the table right now. I think it all depends on the popularity of some of these remasters on the Switch. I think if they start doing well enough, I don't think anything could be written off, really. I think just about anything could possibly be coming. Who knows what could be happening with future Sega Ages stuff outside of constantly regurgitating the same Genesis games. Could we see some Saturn stuff? Could we see, something I think would be more likely, some Dreamcast stuff coming over? Could we get that Skies of Arcadia game on the Nintendo Switch, even if it's just an HD remaster, not a sequel or anything, not pushing it too far, but yeah, just put that on there. People would buy the heck out of these. I know, maybe put like a cool little Dreamcast look to the case. I would probably buy all of them. I know a lot of people would. So this Direct has me, I think, more excited for the potential than just what they showed. I think what they showed was fantastic, and again, I think a lot of stuff that was expected from me that was missing, I think is just more of it's a little too far off to announce right now, because it's so heavy and there's so much coming out. And again, I think as long as the Switch keeps on rolling the way it's been rolling, and if these things start selling well, we could be seeing a heck of a lot of classic games get ported over to the Nintendo Switch, and it's going to be one of those consoles where it's like, oh man, do you need anything else? The Nintendo Switch is shaping up to be an amazing system, and I'm really excited for the future potential over the next couple of years of what we could see come there. And yeah, I just want some confirmation that those Final Fantasies are going to get physical releases. I think they are, but if they do, dang,